Why has the Oak Island treasure eluded treasure hunters for over 200 years? From mysterious booby traps to secret societies guarding priceless artifacts, we're diving deep into the most shocking theories that might finally crack the mystery wide open. Welcome back to your channel name. Today, we're tackling one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries, the legendary Oak Island treasure. For centuries, people have dug, searched, and even risked their lives to uncover the secrets buried beneath this small Nova Scotian island. But what if the truth isn't what we think it is? Buckle up, because we're about to explore 10 mind-blowing theories that could finally explain what's really hidden under Oak Island. Legend has it that Oak Island isn't just hiding treasure, it's guarding it with a deadly curse. And that curse, according to old tales passed down through generations, culminates with a terrifying prophecy. Before the treasure reveals itself, 7 lives must be claimed by the island. So far, history tells us 6 men have already lost their lives in pursuit of this mysterious fortune, and treasure hunters whisper that the final life will trigger the secret of Oak Island to finally be exposed. But where did this dark legend begin? And is it possible that the curse itself has shaped the destiny of everyone who has dared to dig beneath its soil? The first whispers of the curse began to circulate in the mid-19th century, long after 3 young men, Daniel McGinnis and his friends, stumbled upon what looked like a man-made depression in the earth back in 1795. They dug down a few feet and found layers of oak logs, one after another, at perfectly measured intervals. Each layer fueled their excitement. Was this the hiding place of buried treasure? But as the years passed and more people became involved, tragedy began to strike. Equipment failures, collapses, flooding tunnels, and then death. By the time 6 men had perished, locals began to believe it wasn't just bad luck or human error. Something, whether supernatural or man-made, was determined to keep the treasure hidden. And that's where the curse took hold in popular imagination. It transformed the Oak Island mystery from a simple treasure hunt into something much darker, almost mythological. People started to believe the island itself was alive in some way, a force determined to protect what lay beneath. This belief spread like wildfire, and treasure hunters came and went, always haunted by the idea that their quest carried a fatal risk. After all, 6 deaths couldn't be ignored. The legend said 7 must die before the treasure reveals itself. So every new expedition carried a chilling question: would they be the one to pay the price? Some skeptics argue the so-called curse was just a story invented to scare people away or to make sense of the string of tragedies that naturally happen in dangerous digs. But even skeptics can't deny the pattern. Over 200 years, the Oak Island Money Pit has claimed lives in mining accidents, drowning incidents, and sudden equipment failures. And there's something undeniably eerie about the idea that one more death might unlock the final secret. It's almost as if the island demands a sacrifice before giving up its greatest prize. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Some historians have suggested that the curse might not be supernatural at all, but deliberately engineered centuries ago. They argue that whoever buried the treasure could have spread the stoves themselves, ensuring that fear and superstition would protect the site long after physical defenses like traps and flooding tunnels were bypassed. Think about it. If you wanted to keep people away from something valuable, wouldn't a deadly legend be the perfect psychological weapon? People might outsmart your traps, but fear? Fear lasts generations. Theories even suggest that secretive groups like the Knights Templar or Freemasons, rumored to be connected to Oak Island, were masters of symbolism and secrecy. Perhaps the 7 deaths prophecy wasn't random at all, but part of an elaborate warning system, designed to scare off trespassers who weren't part of the inner circle. If that's true, then the curse might not be supernatural, it might be a code, a message meant only for those who were meant to understand it. Of course, for modern-day treasure hunters and TV crews documenting every dig, the curse has become part of the drama. Each new expedition feels like it's tempting fate. People debate endlessly. Will the 7th death finally open the gates to the treasure? Or is the prophecy nothing more than a campfire tale that grew bigger with each retelling? The mystery only deepens as technology advances, ground-penetrating radar, underwater cameras, advanced drilling equipment, all revealing tantalizing clues but never the full truth. And always in the background, the curse looms large. Even more chilling is how close some expeditions have come to adding that seventh death to the tally. Near misses, collapses, unexplained accidents. It's as if the island allows just enough discovery to keep hope alive, but never enough to claim victory. Whether you believe in the curse or not, it has shaped the psychology of Oak Island hunters for centuries. Every decision, every risk taken, every late-night dig under stormy skies happens with that prophecy echoing in the background. 6 have fallen. One more, the legend says, before the island finally gives up its secret. When people first hear about Oak Island's mysterious treasure, their minds almost always leap to one group: pirates. After all, who else is more famous for burying gold, crafting maps with big red X's, and leaving behind riddles for future generations to puzzle over? And when you look at the timeline, the theory almost makes too much sense. The golden age of piracy in the Atlantic was in full swing during the late 1600s and early 1700s. These were the days when ruthless men like Captain Kidd, Blackbeard, and Henry Morgan roamed the seas, plundering ships and collecting unimaginable riches. It's easy to imagine one of them seeking a secret place to stash their loot far from prying eyes, far from the authorities, far from rival pirates ready to slit their throats for a few gold coins. Oak Island, with its remote location off the coast of Nova Scotia, seems like the perfect candidate. It sits close enough to major shipping lanes, but far enough to avoid unwanted visitors. Its dense trees, hidden coves, and natural inlets would have made it an ideal hideout for pirates looking to bury their treasures before disappearing into history. And the real kicker? Captain Kidd himself was rumored to have buried treasure somewhere in this region. In fact, before his capture and execution in 1701, Kidd supposedly confessed to hiding a massive fortune worth millions by today's standards. Maps attributed to him, even if many are fakes, have only fueled the fire, with some treasure hunters swearing they point to Oak Island. But let's dive deeper. The Oak Island Money Pit, with its intricate layers of logs, clay, and coconut fiber, a material not native to the area, feels like it was engineered by someone with both wealth and determination. Pirates weren't just drunken brutes with swords and eye patches. Some were brilliant tacticians who knew how to plan elaborate schemes. If a group of them pooled their resources, could they have created the booby-trapped pit designed to keep intruders out? Many treasure hunters think so, pointing out how each wooden platform found at 10-foot intervals could have been designed as both a marker and a barrier. When water flooding tunnels were discovered in the 19th century, skeptics claimed nature was to blame, but believers argued that pirates could have engineered the flooding system themselves, ensuring that anyone digging too deep would find themselves battling the sea itself. Then there's the tantalizing evidence. Over the years, strange artifacts have surfaced on Oak Island: coins from the 1600s, bits of metal, even parchment fragments. None of these discoveries have definitively proven a pirate connection, but they do hint at activity from the right era. And every time treasure hunters pull up a relic, the legend of Captain Kidd's gold or Blackbeard's hidden fortune grows stronger. Blackbeard himself once boasted that his treasure would never be found by anyone outside his crew. Could Oak Island be the fulfillment of that prophecy? Some skeptics push back, arguing that pirates rarely went to such elaborate lengths to hide their plunder. After all, most lived hard and died young. They spent their gold on rum, women, and weapons rather than saving it for some future generation. But that argument ignores the fact that some pirates, like Captain Kidd, operated more like businessmen than reckless adventurers. Kidd in particular was known for double-crossing allies, hiding loot, and playing both sides of the law. If anyone had the cunning and resources to design a complex hiding spot, it would have been someone like him. Hey everyone, it's me, number 3, the Oak Island Mystery. In the annals of history, few mysteries have captured the imagination quite like that of Oak Island. Located off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, this unassuming stretch of land has been the epicenter of intrigue for centuries. And there are 3 legendary theories as to what could be hidden beneath its surface. Number 3, pirate treasure. The very mention of pirates conjures up images of swashbuckling adventurers, hidden treasures, and of course the 7 seas. And it just so happens that Oak Island has had its fair share of association with these infamous rogues. Now, let's start with the most popular theory surrounding Oak Island, the pirate treasure. This theory suggests that somewhere on the island lies the buried loot of Captain Kidd, one of history's most notorious pirates. Captain Kidd, who sailed in the late 17th and early 18th century, amassed a fortune through plundering ships off the coast of the Americas and the Caribbean. However, his riches were short-lived. After being captured by the British authorities, he was hanged in 1701. Before his execution, Kidd supposedly drew a map to his buried treasure on Oak Island. Now, over the years, many people have claimed to possess these maps, with some even suggesting that they were entrusted with the secret knowledge of where the treasure might be found. Estimates of Captain Kidd's treasure vary, but it's generally believed to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in today's money. If this theory holds any truth, Oak Island would effectively become a real-life version of the famous pirate RPG video game series, laden with gold, jewels, and untold riches. But it's not just about the monetary value. The discovery of such treasure would offer an unparalleled glimpse into the world of piracy. And the lives of the infamous Captain Kidd, it would also raise fascinating questions about how and why he chose Oak Island as his hiding spot, and whether any of his accomplices managed to claim the fortune before his capture. However, as intriguing as this theory is, it's important to remember that it remains just that, a theory. Despite numerous excavations and searches over the years, no tangible evidence of Captain Kidd's treasure has ever been uncovered. Furthermore, many historians dispute the very existence of the treasure maps, claiming they are nothing more than clever forgeries designed to capitalize on the enduring allure of pirates. Regardless, the legend of Captain Kidd's treasure on Oak Island continues to persist, fueled by tales of mysterious artifacts and cryptic clues that have surfaced throughout history. Now we know that if pirates were indeed responsible for burying the treasure on Oak Island, it would likely have been done with complex engineering and planning far beyond what typical pirates were known for. Buried treasure was typically simple affairs meant to be quickly retrieved, not carefully concealed and protected in the manner suggested by the various stories associated with Oak Island. To make matters more complicated, there are accounts of a sort of betrayal or mutiny, which means that someone else may have gotten to the treasure first. Whoever did find it left behind things like the money pit shaft, which they failed to properly conceal. They only wanted to reveal enough of the shaft to lead others to believe that valuable treasure was still waiting to be found. No. 2. Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were a holy order founded in 1118 for the purpose of protecting pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land. They quickly grew into a powerful force, feared for their military prowess and unwavering commitment to their sacred mission. But as time went on, the Templars became embroiled in controversy, accused of everything from heresy to immorality. In 1183, they were disbanded by King Philip IV of France, leaving their fate uncertain. So how do they tie into the Oak Island mystery? Well, one of the more outlandish theories proposes that the Knights Templar used Oak Island as a secret hiding spot for some of the most precious relics in history. Among these relics supposedly lie the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant, two artifacts that hold immense religious significance. The presence of such relics on Oak Island would effectively turn the seemingly ordinary island into a place of pilgrimage, attracting believers and historians from around the globe. The idea that the Knights Templar were involved in such a plot adds another layer of intrigue. Known for their dedication to safeguarding sacred objects, it wouldn't be out of character for them to hide these relics in a remote location. However, the theory doesn't end there. According to some accounts, the Templars were not only hiding these artifacts, but also burying vast quantities of gold and jewels. This would have been done to ensure the survival of these treasures, knowing that the order would eventually be disbanded. The theory suggests that the Templars, with their knowledge of secret codes and symbols, created an elaborate system of tunnels and chambers beneath Oak Island to house these treasures. The existence of such a network of underground structures would not only explain the strange anomalies detected beneath the island's surface, but also provide a plausible reason for the continued mystery. Despite numerous attempts to unearth these secrets, the passageways remain hidden, baffling scientists and treasure hunters alike. One particularly intriguing aspect of this theory is the supposed connection between the Templars and Henry Sinclair, a Scottish nobleman who is believed to have made the first European contact with mainland North America in 1398. If true, this would imply that the Templars had established a secret base on Oak Island long before it was discovered by Europeans. However, despite the allure of this theory, it's important to note that there's little concrete evidence to support it. The idea of the Templars possessing such relics and establishing a hidden base on Oak Island remains firmly in the realm of speculation. While it makes for an exciting narrative, it lacks the historical backing that would lend it credibility. Number 1. Shakespeare manuscripts. There has always been a great deal of debate regarding who really wrote the works attributed to William Shakespeare. While the conventional wisdom holds that Shakespeare wrote his own plays, poems, and sonnets, there are those who argue that he was actually a front for a secret society that had a vested interest in keeping its members' identities hidden. One such theory proposes that the true author of Shakespeare's works was Francis Bacon, an English philosopher and statesman. And according to this theory, Bacon deliberately concealed his authorship to avoid the controversy that his radical ideas would have caused during the Elizabethan era. Bacon's philosophical and scientific ideas were often at odds with the prevailing beliefs of his time, making it plausible that he would have sought to hide his identity while circulating his controversial works. In fact, there are alleged ciphers pointing to Shakespeare as nothing more than a front for Bacon, with some scholars claiming to have decoded messages within Shakespeare's works that point to Bacon as the true author. Furthermore, there are those who believe that Shakespeare's plays were not merely a reflection of Bacon's intellectual prowess, but were actually a coded record of secret knowledge and esoteric wisdom. This secret wisdom, it is argued, was meant to be deciphered by a select few who were initiated into the mysteries of the plays. And what does all of this have to do with Oak Island? Well, according to one particularly audacious theory, Francis Bacon purposely buried irrefutable evidence of his authorship of Shakespeare's works on Oak Island. This would have been done to safeguard the evidence until a time when it would be deemed safe enough to unearth. The idea that Bacon would have chosen Oak Island for such a purpose is not without merit. As an isolated and relatively unknown island, it provided the perfect hiding spot for priceless literary evidence. And while the concept of a secret Shakespearean conspiracy might seem far-fetched, it's important to remember that there are those who genuinely believe it to be true. The presence of Shakespeare manuscripts on Oak Island, if proven authentic, would rewrite history. It would shatter the foundations of literary scholarship and open up a Pandora's box of questions regarding the true nature of Shakespeare's genius and the motivations behind the grand deception. What do you think? Do you believe that Oak Island holds any of these legendary secrets? Or perhaps you have your own theory about what could be hidden beneath its surface? Feel free to share your thoughts below. Also, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. What if the greatest mysteries in history are actually connected by something much bigger than we realize? That might be the case with Shakespeare's lost manuscripts and Francis Bacon, who some believe used Oak Island as a hiding place for secret documents, but there's something else down there too. In 2018, while filming an episode of The Curse of Oak Island, a History Channel show about a team trying to uncover the secrets of this supposed treasure island, a fragment of parchment was found buried deep underground near the famous Money Pit. This may have been part of a much larger cache of secret documents secreted away by one of history's most controversial men, Francis Bacon. Let's face it, there are few things more intriguing than a good old-fashioned mystery, especially when it involves potential links to famous writers, long-lost treasure, and perhaps even aliens. So let's take a look at the evidence and see what we can discover. But first, to understand why so many people are obsessed with this mysterious island, we need to start at the beginning. Legends of hidden treasure on Oak Island date back to 1795, when British loyalists fleeing the American Revolution hid valuables in a cave on the island. Since then, rumors have persisted of Captain Kidd's buried booty from his infamous treasure ship, the Witta Galley, which wrecked off the coast of Oak Island in 1720. Even Shakespeare has been linked to the island with speculation that he used Oak Island as a hiding place for his lost manuscripts, before his death in 1616. This theory is based on the fact that Shakespeare was born in 1564, the same year that Captain John Smith, one of the earliest English settlers in North America, explored Oak Island. There's no direct link between them, but it's possible they could have met or at least crossed paths somehow. As for Francis Bacon, whose name is synonymous with the famed Baconian theory of Shakespeare authorship, his connection to Oak Island is just as tenuous. In 1609, he visited North America, and although he wasn't involved in any exploration of Oak Island specifically, he did lay claim to vast tracts of land in what would become Nova Scotia. Some believe that he hid copies of his own works on the island as well as important documents relating to the founding of the Virginia Company, which he helped establish. But whether Shakespeare, Bacon, or any of the rumored pirates ever stashed their goods on the island remains unknown. What is known is that somewhere underneath Oak Island's surface lies the so-called Money Pit, a man-made shaft over 100 feet deep filled with tantalizing clues and enough twists and turns to keep viewers of The Curse of Oak Island guessing week after week. To date, more than 10 tons of artifacts have been recovered from the pit dating back to the 16th century. These include coins, old books, animal bones, even a mysterious lead cross bearing the Roman numeral 1646 stamped into its surface. But perhaps the most compelling physical evidence comes in the form of strange markings left by the pit builders. Many of these were found on a large slab of rock deep underground, including the dates 1646 and 1696, carved alongside a series of other seemingly indecipherable numbers and symbols. Some viewers of The Curse of Oak Island have speculated that the builders of the Money Pit may have been members of a secret society like the Freemasons. Others believe that the markings are nothing more than red herrings designed to mislead treasure hunters. However, there is one theory that attempts to explain all of the strange carvings, animal bones, and other objects found within the Money Pit. According to author and local historian Alton Tobey, the builders of the pit were likely part of a group known as the Rosicrucians. Founded in Germany in the early 17th century, this secret society was dedicated to the study of alchemy, astrology, and other esoteric subjects. The various cryptic symbols found in the Money Pit, says Tobey, may represent alchemical processes or astrological signs, while the animal bones could have been used in rituals or placed there as offerings. The strange workings found throughout the pit also suggest a group with advanced knowledge of engineering and mathematics, adding further weight to the theory. For example, at one point they built a wooden platform across the shaft, then flooded it with water before continuing their digging. Watertight compartments like this, known as delamers, were often used during mining operations to keep out unwanted water, but they had never been used in a shaft this deep before. As it turned out, the team eventually discovered another shaft connected to the main Money Pit, and upon further investigation, found that it was cleverly designed to automatically fill up with water whenever it was accessed, creating a nearly impenetrable barrier to anyone brave enough to venture inside. Adding to the intrigue, researchers uncovered yet another layer of history beneath this watery tomb. In 2019, they found a small hole filled with charcoal, putty, and coconut fiber. Despite the pit being over 100 feet below ground, the coconut fiber suggested that someone had brought this material from far above, adding another layer of complexity to an already convoluted mystery. And here's where things get really weird. The team also discovered a third shaft filled with rubble and debris that had been deliberately placed there to block its entrance. The shaft had been filled in around 1696, according to the markings left behind by its builders, but it appears as though they didn't want anyone to know about it. These 3 shafts were only the beginning. Over the years, the team uncovered dozens more shafts and tunnels, all of which were expertly engineered and designed to confuse treasure hunters. At one point, they found a tunnel leading to a false bottom, complete with a fake floor made of planks and bricks. In another area, they discovered a series of booby traps, including a stone door that would roll down to crush anyone who tried to enter the shaft. So what exactly were these master engineers up to? Well, to answer that question, we have to go back even further. Before European settlers arrived on Oak Island, it was inhabited by the Micmac people for thousands of years. The island's shores are littered with remnants of their culture, including arrowheads, axe blades, and other tools. It's believed that the Micmac used Oak Island as a seasonal hunting and fishing ground until the late 1700s when British colonists claimed the land for themselves. One theory holds that the money pit was created by one of these settlers, perhaps as a hiding place for stolen goods or pirate treasure. Another theory suggests that it was the result of a failed attempt to mine for gold or silver. After all, the island is rich in mineral deposits and there were plenty of metals such as iron, copper, and lead. But there's no evidence that any formal mining operation ever took place here. So what really happened on Oak Island? Well, that's the million-dollar question, literally. If the rumors are true, then buried beneath this unassuming stretch of coastline is a treasure trove of lost history waiting to be uncovered. From Shakespeare's lost manuscripts to Francis Bacon's secret documents, the implications of such a discovery would be nothing short of monumental. But what if there's something else down there? Something even more controversial? What if the advanced engineering techniques used in constructing the money pit point to a lost civilization or even extraterrestrial contact? That may sound far-fetched, but consider the evidence. In recent years, researchers have uncovered similarities between Oak Island and other unexplained ancient sites, such as Machu Picchu and the pyramids. All of these structures were built with incredible precision using advanced techniques that we can only marvel at today. Is it possible that a highly advanced culture thrived on Oak Island centuries ago? Or could there be another explanation altogether? Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from the artifacts found within the money pit itself. In 2018, researchers discovered a piece of lead pipe that appeared to be at least 300 years old. Lead pipes were not commonly used in North America until the 19th century, so it's possible that whoever built the pit was using advanced technology from an unknown source. But perhaps the most tantalizing clue came in 2021 when researchers uncovered a series of strange spirals carved into one of the pit's many shafts. These spirals resemble similar patterns found at ancient sites around the world, including the pyramids of Giza and Stonehenge. Could this be evidence of a lost civilization with connections to some of the world's most famous monuments? Or are we reading too much into these ancient carvings? One thing is certain, Oak Island's secrets run deeper than anyone could have imagined. From Shakespeare's lost works to mysterious lead pipes and spiral carvings, there are clues scattered throughout the island's history pointing to a time when advanced technology and forgotten cultures thrived along its shores. But what exactly does it all mean? That's a question that has baffled treasure hunters and historians alike for centuries. Perhaps we're not looking at the right answers. Maybe the truth is stranger than any of us can imagine. Thanks for watching. Which theory do you think best explains the Oak Island mystery? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Knowledge that even modern engineers struggle to explain. Could Oak Island be part of this same puzzle, a location chosen or created by a civilization with technology centuries or even millennia ahead of its time? Some even suggest that what lies beneath Oak Island might not be gold or manuscripts at all, but technology left behind by beings from another world. Imagine for a moment that buried deep under the island's surface is some kind of artifact, something powerful, maybe even dangerous, that needed to be hidden until the right time or the right people came along to find it. The elaborate traps and flooding tunnels wouldn't just be there to protect treasure. They would be there to ensure no one stumbled upon something they weren't ready to understand. And there's another layer to this theory. Over the years, strange lights have been reported around Oak Island, glowing orbs hovering silently before vanishing into the night sky. Some dismiss them as swamp gas or atmospheric phenomena, but believers claim they re-evidence of a continuing connection between the island and whoever or whatever created the mystery in the first place. Could these lights be guardians of the site or signs that the technology buried below is still active in some way? It's a chilling thought, but one that keeps coming up in conversations about aliens and ancient civilizations tied to Oak Island. The theory also draws strength from local Micmac legends passed down long before European settlers arrived. Some of these stories speak of strange visitors, powerful beings, or events that hint at knowledge far beyond what native tribes could have encountered from early explorers. While it's easy to dismiss this as myth or coincidence, others see it as a piece of the puzzle, a hint that Oak Island's secrets might stretch back hundreds or even thousands of years before the first recorded treasure hunters ever set foot there. Skeptics, of course, argue that there's no concrete evidence linking Oak Island to aliens or lost civilizations. They point out that human ingenuity is often underestimated, that people in the past were capable of far more than we give them credit for. After all, medieval engineers built cathedrals that still stand today. Ancient sailors crossed oceans with simple maps and stars to guide them. And civilizations like the Romans constructed aqueducts and roads that have lasted millennia. But believers counter that nothing in recorded history quite matches the money pit-esque complexity combined with its apparent age, leaving the door open for wilder possibilities. And then there's the question of why. If an ancient civilization or extraterrestrial visitors really did build or use Oak Island, what was their purpose? Was it to hide knowledge until humanity was advanced enough to use it responsibly? Was it to store treasures or technology they didn't want falling into the wrong hands? Or was the entire site itself some kind of marker, a signal to future generations that we are not alone and never have been? Each time new discoveries emerge from the island, whether it's mysterious metal fragments, strange symbols carved into rocks or tunnels, no one can fully map. The debate reignites, pushing this theory further into the spotlight and blurring the line between history, science, and the unknown. For over 2 centuries, Oak Island has stood like a silent guardian, holding on to its secrets while generation after generation has tried and failed to unlock them. From the chilling curse that has claimed lives to whispers of pirate gold, from the shadowy Knights Templar to theories about Shakespeare's lost manuscripts. From the engineering genius of the money pit to the mind-bending possibility of aliens or ancient civilizations, every clue uncovered seems to deepen the mystery rather than solve it. What makes Oak Island so captivating isn't just the possibility of treasure. It's the layers of history, legend, and enigma wrapped around it like the rings of a tree. Each theory offers a different key, yet the lock remains firmly shut. We have technology today that the original treasure hunters could never have dreamed of: sonar, seismic mapping, advanced drilling equipment, and still, the heart of Oak Island refuses to reveal itself. Maybe the truth beneath Oak Island will one day change everything we think we know about history, about exploration, maybe even about humanity itself. Or maybe the island will continue to guard its secrets for another 200 years, challenging future generations to solve the puzzle. One thing is certain: as long as Oak Island keeps its silence, the world will keep watching, wondering, and digging, hoping that the next clue will finally be the one that breaks the mystery wide open.